Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome back to my Hot Penny Stock channel. This is James. This is Sonder Holdings. Like the video, subscribe. You're going to want to see my videos because I go over these companies real quick for you and I show you the numbers, give you some brain food, show you some new ticker symbols. You might catch something you like along the way. You might learn something and maybe you could teach me something. Please comment below if you have any comments. Sonder Holdings, 98 cents a share, up 11% today. This is probably the company that's going to go out of business faster than anything that anyone ever believed was possible. They probably have the worst timing of all time. Anyhow, if you don't know who they are the largest Airbnb dealer. They have short-term rentals, such as apartment hotels in North America, Europe, and Dubai. Founded in Montreal, Canada. And since 2016, it's been based in San Francisco. They have over 9,000 units in 40 cities and 10 countries. They are the largest host on Airbnb, and they also compete with Airbnb. They have their own app where people can book. So I guess they're trying to get the people maybe to sign up the first time with Airbnb and then go use their app and switch it over, steal the customer away. I'm surprised Airbnb lets them on there. Talk about timing. Let's look at their income statement. They are a consistent loser of money. 142 million in revenue, lost 178 million. 115 million in revenue, lost 250 during COVID. That's probably the drop. Revenue went up to 232. Net income negative 294 million. Just getting crushed. And then here, world record revenue of 461 last year in 2022. They still lost $150 million. The housing market is a tricky one. Their timing, I was mentioning, was how awful it was. They went out in 2021 and spent a crap ton of money, $341 million. They were already in debt, $100 million of that, so I guess they spent $240 million more. They went out and bought a bunch of properties in 2021. If you remember correctly, we were still at 0% interest rates. The prices were very high, but they were getting good rates on their properties. So the good news for them is they probably got good fixed mortgages, had a good 3 or 4% rate. They're not paying today's mortgage rate, which is nice. After they bought all these properties, you see the following year, 2022, with the massive revenue. All these properties went into the short-term rental circuit, and there you go. A bunch of more revenue, all those properties added on there. Problem is the properties have them seriously upside down right now. They probably didn't buy more in 2022. I don't know why they didn't report this on the statement when the income is there for 2022. Have to do some more research, but it's safe to say that these assets probably are as tall as this line. This money they spent, bought properties. I would imagine this blue line got a whole lot bigger. It's probably up to here right now. And these liabilities probably look the same. They're a lot closer to similar now. Maybe it got added these more assets onto these. So maybe the assets are a little higher now. But the problem is the housing crisis. The buyers can't buy because it's 6 or 7% interest. A $400,000 house now carries a $2,700 payment for 30-year mortgage, where it used to carry a $1,700 payment for a 30-year mortgage. So buyers are not interested in buying, and sellers are not interested in selling. If right now you're kind of like these people, and you bought it, 3 or 4% interest rate, why in the world would you sell your house and go buy another one right now and have to pay 7% interest? That would just add $1,000 to your monthly payment, and you'll probably get less house. So the sellers don't want to sell, the buyers don't want to buy. You have no inventory on the market almost because of this housing boom that we just went through. So there's very little inventory, and no new inventory is being created because the sellers are completely not interested in selling, or homeowners are completely not interested in selling. So that's the pickle they're in. Ultimately, the Fed's going to keep raising rates. It is going to make it snap. The houses are going to lose the value. I don't know how much of this big blue line that they probably created for 2022 of the new assets. Surprised it's not right here. But I'm sure it got bigger. We're going to start watching that blue line collapse. I don't think that it's not like they're going to get a margin call for the debt. They could probably leave their balance sheet crappy. They made a deal with the bank to buy the properties. I'm sure the bank will honor the deal as long as they're making the payments on the thing. How long can they make the payments on all these houses? $246 million left. And they're chewing up $300 million this year, $150 million this year. On their cash, they might be able to go, I don't know if they'll make it through 2023. There's another problem looming as well. Airbnb dealers, there's a saturation in the short-term rental market. When Airbnb became popular, everyone went out and bought an extra property and they Airbnb'd it. They can get a nice low mortgage for $800 a month and Airbnb it for $3,000 a month. It was a nice little cash flow gig for hundreds of thousands of Americans went and did this. In Central Florida, 25% of the houses in town are investment properties. There's people, short-term rentals, basically. They could always turn these into long-term rentals and get about a third of the money for it. That would make things even worse, probably. But the Airbnb dealers, basically, to put it in a nutshell, they used to be able to rent their houses out, 25, 26 days out of the month. They were kicking butt. Now they're renting their house out about 10 days out of the month because there are, I think, hundreds of thousands of properties available. And then all the hotels added to it as an option. They've changed their fee structure at Airbnb, where they want you to clean the house after you leave, and they want to charge you a big cleaning fee. It's like a $50 cleaning fee to everyone. So they're charging you to clean, and then they're telling you to clean as well. And if you don't clean yourself, they hit you up with some more money. So people aren't taking it very well, and a lot less people are using Airbnb as a result. Your first night, if it's $100 for the night, you got to add that $50 on there with tax and all the fees. You're getting out at $200 for your first night if it's a $100 room. So it's a terrible one-night stay. If you want to stay for a few nights, it might get better. You'll only have one cleaning fee. But it's not competitive that much with the hotels. And the hotels, they don't have to clean. You can just throw your towels on the floor. You can make a mess. You can screw up the bed. You can leave crap all over the place and just leave. There's no cleaning fee. They don't hit you up on that. You don't have spy cameras and weird people showing up and weird neighbors. And I don't know, the whole thing maybe was kind of faddish, or it got saturated, exploited a little bit by the Airbnb company. So stuff got worse over there. The dealers are having a hard time. This is the largest Airbnb dealer. I don't know how much of the revenue comes from that. But no matter what short-term rental market, there's just too many of them right now. They can't keep them fully rented. So that big premium that they were getting is kind of evaporated in the last year. The 1-year chart in this company, everyone knows what's coming. Down just 4% in a year. That's incredible. 6 months, down 4%. 1 month, what? No, I'm looking at the after hours. Let's go back. 1 year, 79% down. 6 months, 49% down. Just 1 month, 37% down. 5 days, 10% more. And then all of a sudden an up day. This was on the hot stock. I don't know what happened today. This looks like it's all over the place. Started at 92, went up to 94, and actually ended the day well. I wonder what happened. If anything happened. It's probably just normal movement. Went up a couple of cents. 94, 90, 98 cents from 92 cents. It went up 6 cents. So maybe that's a whoopity-doo. But what are they going to run into? They've got these mortgages. Got a lot of them. That's your income. And they lose money. They're going to lose. They're going to continue to lose money. The rents are going to go down, or they're going to stay where they are. When you hit a recession, people don't vacation as much anymore. The hotel business sucks. The short-term rental business sucks. If we do go into a recession where everybody starts tightening their belt and we're having inflation, and it chews into the money that you have to go vacation, especially when you are on a budget. You don't want to go pay the big cleaning fee. You don't want $200 for the first night. You might just choose a hotel. You might just do that. You could stay at the Hilton for $200 a night. So yeah, I don't know. They had a good idea. This probably would have worked had they bought these houses earlier, and they spent. Had they got this income on the books back then, maybe it would have turned out different. It's just that their assets are gonna maybe fall by a third, or they could fall in half. Who knows where their assets could go, or how long they could take to recover. But I guess that's not the important thing about business. It's also turning a profit. The earnings per share and the earnings how much the company makes. People could ignore balance sheets. You can't ignore this, though. The revenue did go up. That's a good thing. Didn't seem to help with the loss. I mean, yeah, they did lose less. I guess they lost half as much. They can't go buy more houses, though. They're not going to buy them at the 7%. That would be suicidal. If anything, they're probably looking to get rid of some. I think they got a big wall of houses that they could probably get rid of to stay in business for a while. I think this blue line goes up to here. It's also, everything's a liability attached to it. And once they get upside down on the houses, you won't even be able to get rid of them. So if they wanted to get rid of some houses, they should probably do that today. I don't know if they are. It doesn't appear that they were doing it yet in 2022. It's just sad. It's sad to see that their timing was so impeccably horrible. And then the industry falling apart at the exact same time. Not just the short-term rental industry, specifically what they do is getting battered. The long-term rental industry is doing great. Could they turn these properties over to long-term rentals? Yes, but they're not going to get as much money. Instead of getting $100 a night, $3,000 a month, they might get $1,500 a month, and then they're going to have to find new tenants every year. 98 cents. I don't know. Obviously, it's going to go. It's going to go down. I mean, we're going to have a recession or a housing crisis, one or the other. The Fed's not going to quit raising rates until he sees a recession, and that's going to cause houses to fall. Maybe. People can't buy them and people can't sell them. Does that change in a recession? I don't know. I think they're talking about large groups of people migrating away from some of these states with the unaffordable housing into states that have affordable housing. People can't afford to live in Florida anymore. You're looking at $2,000 a month for a tiny studio on the crappy side of town. Maybe a one bedroom if you're lucky from the 1970s. It's not pretty. And a lot of people are having to move. You might see Florida lose millions of people. Everybody's been flocking here. The people that can't afford it are going to be leaving here. The prices have gotten very much like Long Island. And New York was actually had really low prices for a while, but apparently they're even making a comeback just because there's nowhere to live. They're not building anything anymore, and no one will sell. We got an extra 4 million people sneaking into the country every 2 years. They got to live somewhere. So these houses are getting gobbled up one way or the other. I'm not going to give any advice on this one. I'm definitely not going to buy it. I see it going down, 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 down. I see the assets get chewed up. I see the revenue coming down. They're not going to be able to rent as many or as often or get the same prices for it. Where's that revenue again? God, they always hide it from me. I don't know. It's just always under the news. Okay. Yeah, I don't see this repeating itself. They're going to have to start discounting it to fill it up. Maybe they'll find the sweet spot, the right price where it gets occupied the most days out of the month. Maybe when it's not rented at 3 o'clock, they drop the price. Hopefully they got something to optimize the rental. But this year it could fall by 25%. Hotels are probably going to come down during the recession. Short-term rentals are going to come down. And then the oversaturation of the market is going to help with that. It's going to end up being in the 400, 350 range. This net income is going to go back to negative 200 million a year. And their assets are going to get chewed up. And how long can they stay in business? Well, at a 98-cent stock price. Let's see how many outstanding shares. Maybe they can dilute this thing. 216 million shares outstanding. That is a crap ton of shares. I don't think they can dilute it anymore. I mean, they could. They could issue another 216 million shares, and they could sell them for, well, half of this. Where the hell did that go? Once they dilute the shares, the price falls from 98 cents to 58 cents or to 50 cents. And they'll get 256 million times 50 cents, but the price will be plummeting if they're going to be selling that many shares. You might end up with, I don't know, maybe they could still raise some money. I don't know. But they're just in a really bad position. Could they survive it? Yeah, I guess so. Maybe in 3 or 4 years they'll still be cooking. It's certainly possible. Are they going to have any good times in the next year or two? No, it's not happening now. You're 3, 4, 5 years out on this one, maybe 10 years, maybe never. I'd short this if you can, or don't buy it. Wait till it hits 50 cents or something like that. Let's see what the market cap on this company is. $212 million. It's half their revenue. So the world's already kicked it in the teeth. Could it be worth $100 million? Well, I don't know. Is something worth $100 million if it loses $150 million annually and can't help itself but to do that? Yeah. It's not like they pay their debt off with this money. This is just flat, straight up lost money. They charge a cleaning service, or they sublet the cleaning services of all 9,000 units. They have cleaning companies that come clean them up the next day after the tenant leaves. It's probably a lot more than a hotel would pay for their cleaning lady. This cleaning lady has to drive over there, do the work, charge a premium. It's subbed out. They're paying too much to get the places clean. However much they are paying, it's cheaper to get someone at $15 an hour, and they can clean 4 or 5 rooms an hour. Here you're going to pay somebody for a couple hours to clean one place every single day. The wear and tear, the destruction on the properties, the upkeep, 9,000 stoves breaking, 9,000 refrigerators breaking, plumbing leaks, roofing tiles flying off, storms, trees falling on them. If you're a homeowner, you know all about this. You might make a nice appreciation on your house, but when you suck out all the stuff that you had to fix and replace, it's not as pretty as people would think. So yeah, I'm a big no on this one. In fact, I would short it for a couple of years. After that, I wouldn't short it anymore. But I think this sucker's coming down to 50 cents. And it's going to do it pretty quick. And the last month, it already made 40% of that progress. So it just need one more month to look like last month, and my prediction will be true. Short it if you can, or don't buy it. I wouldn't buy this for any price. When they can't make their house payments anymore is when they're going to have the problem. That's when everything goes into foreclosure. These 9,000 properties are going to hit the market again. This debt is a mortgage payment. It needs to be kept up with every month. It's $341 million. I don't know what the mortgage payment is on $341 million, but I would imagine it's a lot. It's enough for them to lose $150 million in a year. It's one of their costs. Let's see if it's in the operating. They don't even list an operating expense. Apparently, they don't want us to know. But once they run out of cash and they can't dilute this thing anymore, then they can't make the payments possibly on the mortgage, because this isn't paying it. This is just losing money. You can't say, oh, well, we'll pay it with this. You know, you already are paying it with that, and you're still losing $150. So if this falls off any, and this grows any, and they lose that $256 that they have, yeah, then they're in a point where they can't even make their mortgage payment, and they have to start selling one property after another to raise cash. And I guess that won't raise any cash, because that'll just pay off the mortgage, and they'll be doing a short sale on every house and losing money on every one. And this is a bankruptcy. This is a bankruptcy within 2 years. Yeah, I can see that. These banks are going to be pissed. Where's our money? Oh, you're not going to pay us? Ooh, cannot pay the bank. Maybe they can just not pay for some of them and then pay for the rest of them and keep some. I don't know. I say they just throw in the towel. Depends on how hard the asset falls too. If the house is all of a sudden worth 33% less, I mean, the banks can't do anything about that, but they'll be more eager to foreclose, perhaps. Maybe they'll just want out of it before it falls any further. They can sit on it for a couple of years and get back out of it. But houses don't need to fall for the repossession to happen. They just need to keep losing money. If they just keep losing money, the repossession happens. We don't even need a housing crisis. We just need a business crisis. And the business crisis alone is going to force them to not be able to make their payments on a bunch of their properties, probably a third of them or half of them. So they're going to have to start, yeah, they're done. I call them done. Sonder Holdings, there's your stock tip of the day. Don't buy this one. Be a fun one to short. I don't know why it went up. That's interesting. It couldn't possibly be good news. People think we're going to have a soft landing and everything's going to be okay. And if you're a bull and if you're a believer of that, you might be right. Maybe inflation will just fix itself all of a sudden and the growing economy will continue growing. People will start buying houses again for 7% interest and pay double for all the products that they buy at the store and gas and everything else. And that's just the new world that we live in. Everybody will make $40 an hour. I don't know. There's just too many things broken with the world to think that that's going to be the way it plays out. The Fed is not stopping until inflation is fixed. So it better fix itself really quick. And it's going to be a few years before they start lowering rates anyhow to anything meaningful enough to bring back the housing market. So yeah, the only silver lining is they did get it at the low rate. So their house payments are a lot cheaper than they would have been had they bought it this year. They probably wouldn't have made that decision had they been able to wait a year. But yeah, the Airbnb business is kind of a fad and it's kind of over. So no on this one. Short it if you can, at your own risk. Just do a little bit, and that's all I would do with Sonder. Thank you very much for watching the video. Like and subscribe to my channel. I'll keep you updated. We found a couple of good ones, and we're going to keep pressing on. Check out my other videos also. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.